To resolve and take this campaign further forward, we do need and rely on leadership in the community, leadership here in the parliament, leadership all around Australia. And so therefore it's with a great deal of pleasure this morning and a great deal of gratitude for her making herself available at a very busy time that I'd like to introduce the Prime Minister of Australia, Julia Gillard, to address our meeting.
Thank you very much to John Della Bosca, and thank you to all of my parliamentary colleagues for joining us here today. I can see colleagues in very great numbers from across the parliament, and that's absolutely fantastic. Of course, I'm joined today by our Minister, Jenny Macklin, who is leading this effort, and I believe Bill Shorten is here too. Yes, I can see Bill, and he is so familiar to you for all of the work that he has done with you, leading to our announcement of our support for a national disability insurance scheme. But really, the most important people in the room aren't the politicians, aren't the ministers, but they're the people with disabilities and their families and friends who have been on this journey for such a long period of time, reminding our nation that every Australian counts. And we've heard that message loud and clear. This morning, I'm not going to rehearse the arguments about why we need change for how we treat Australians with disabilities. There are too many people in this room who, from their own life experience, could put that case far more eloquently than I ever will be able to. But we have heard your voices, and we do know that change is necessary. Because the way the system works now, it is like a cruel lottery as to what kind of care and assistance you get. It depends entirely on the circumstances in which you acquired your disability, which means some Australians do get the assistance they need, but too many Australians with disabilities and their families and friends feel and live a real day-to-day existence of being left behind in our country. And we don't want to see people left behind. Now, your journey of advocacy on this campaign has been a very long one, and I thank you for that. Nothing has come easy. And we're joined today by people who have raised their voices consistently during that campaign, by Kirsten Dean, the Executive Director of the National Disability and Carer Alliance, by Tim Walton and Ken Baker from National Disability Services, by Tim Moore and Ara Cresswell from Carers Australia. So many people who have been part of this movement of change. I've come this morning to verify to you, to confirm that change is coming. It's not going to be easy, and it is a big journey to go yet. There is a lot of reforming work to do to create a national disability scheme. But 2 months ago, we said yes to reform. We said this country should have a national disability insurance scheme, and we are determined to make sure that we get this done. It's going to take leadership and it's going to take resolve. It's going to take collective efforts and it's going to take goodwill. And I know I'm looking out on a crowd of people that are going to bring all of that determination and all of that goodwill to the task. In the 2 months since we said yes to reform, we've made some progress, and I want to report on that to you today. I'm very pleased to be able to announce that at the COAG meeting, states and territories all agreed that we need major reform. We hadn't even been in that place before, where national leaders could come together and say, yes, we need reform, but now that is done. I'm also pleased to be able to report to you that an advisory group of disability experts and advocates, led by Dr Jeff Harmer, so well known to you, has been created to help lay the foundations for reform and prepare for launch. And an immediate additional $10 million of funding is supporting the technical work that needs to be done so we can bring the recommendations of the Productivity Commission and a national disability insurance scheme to life. and under the auspices of COAG, the Council of Treasurers and Disability Services Ministers will meet for the first time this month to discuss how important progress can be made on this reform. If you like, the people who you most routinely deal with, Ministers for Disability Services, together with the ministers who have the money in governments around the nation, working on those foundations of reform. Now, I don't want to mislead anyone. This is going to take patient, painstaking and careful work. This is a huge change to the way our nation would deal with disability. A change of the order of Medicare to our health system, something that was debated and discussed, worked on in its technical detail over a long period of time. But you never get to the end point if you don't take the first step. We've not only taken the first step 2 months ago, we've continued to take a step every day of those 2 months. Thank you very much for coming to this Parliament today and reminding us that every Australian counts. That reminder should always be before us, and we're determined to make every day count as we build a national disability insurance scheme. Thank you very much.
Turn around, please. Thank you, Talon and Shay, and thank you very much, Prime Minister.